Welcome back, guys. If you are new to this channel, let me introduce you what exactly this channel is all about. So this channel is all about technology, so building technology. Okay, so we build tons of applications, so not only web application, we're gonna also build interesting mobile applications. So for the time being, we build some interesting complete CRUD application by using some sort of MERN technology. So MERN is just an abbreviation, which is a combined framework and library. So in the front end, we're gonna use React, and at the back end, we're gonna use Node Express. Of course, on the database, we're gonna use MongoDB. Okay, so in this tutorial, we're gonna build interesting web app, interesting online lottery game application. So as you see, we have interesting front-end view. So I only write HTML, CSS and JavaScript to build this interesting view. So we're gonna change this view by using React. Okay, by using React, we're gonna build this view in the first place. After that, we will add a capability of registration page, login page, and of course some sort of gambling thing, or kind of lottery ticket. So to follow me along, we need to first you have to install NodeJs in your computer. Okay, then after you install NodeJs, you have to of course install React in your computer. To install Node, you have to go there to their official website, which is called nodejs.org. Then simply you just install the Node.js framework into your machine. Then after you open a VS Code, then by going to their terminal, which is over here, by going to terminal, after you creating a new terminal, you just write the following command. Okay, npx create react app. Okay, react app, then the folder name you want, which your entire React code will be exist. So right now I already create some sort of code, some sort of directory. So I already installed it, so I don't reinstall it again. So after you install it, you will get I think 3 directory and 3 files. So the most important file you have to remember is just source directory. So in the source directory, you have entire React code. So as you see, we have index.js, which is the fundamental code you need to render other child components. Okay, so this tutorial is not try to describe what exactly React and Node.js is. I only build interesting application by using libraries and frameworks only. All right, so don't expect me to explain what React is. Okay, so but after you installing, you get this interface, this file. So the first file will run in any browser is index.js. Okay, in the client, when the client visit your application, the first file will run on client browser is index.js. So in return, index.js again will call other file, which is app.js. So app.js is a JavaScript code that will render into the page. Okay, into your front end page. So as you see, I already delete the entire entire code that exists in the app.js. So let me create a function called app. To create a function in JavaScript, you have to say function, isn't it? Function, then app. So simple is that. So the beauty of React is just that it will add HTML extension into your JavaScript. Okay, so it combine your JavaScript code into your HTML. So HTML is not only markup language. In this regard, in React regard, it is a code. So you can treat it as like a code. Okay, so but they have to return. So as you know, return is a kind of giving things to the other function to use by the other function, isn't it? Yeah. So to display or to render pages into your browser or in the client browser, we have to give HTML file. So React is interestingly will return a view. So the view is an HTML tag. Okay, so after we make a function, we have to return a view, which is an HTML file or a div. So let me create a div. Then after I create a div, let me also create h2 tag. In the h2 tag, let me say it's online lottery game. All right, lottery game. Of course, I didn't export it. So as you know, in JavaScript, to export things, we have to write export default app. So if I do that, if I write this command, automatically I will get interesting view. So let me try to run my webpack that found in my React application. So to start React application, you have to write the following command, which is npm start. Simple as that. When you write npm start, your webpack systematically run your application, React application. So I think it will take little time. Let me pause the video and I will return back when the running is done. So our React application is begin. So our webpack is working correctly. So as you see, we have online lottery game tag displayed on our page. So if you are new for React, hopefully it will difficult to understand each and every file over here. So believe me, we only need two specific files, index.js and of course the other built-in library, built-in codes. Okay, let me delete each and every unnecessary file. All right, let me delete it. After I delete it, so we get only two files. Okay, so over here it says app.js is not defined. Okay, so let us build app.js file in the first place. So to build that, we're gonna write app.js. Then simply we can just create a function called app. Okay, so in the app we have to return, like I said, a view. So in the view we're gonna build a div tag used to class name. So the class name, as you know, in the HTML we write class to specify it is class, but in React we have to say a class name. All right, so let me build a paragraph which is please sub. All right, if you are really a human, I believe you understand this word. Then let me export it. Export the default what? App, isn't it? If I save it, now we got a problem because it says that index.js, which is index.js, is not being created. Okay, so let me create So let me create index.css file. So the index.css file is contain, sorry, it's, I think index is not a css file. Where is it? Yeah, let me rename it and let me call index.css. alright, so in the index.css file we have back, let me check. Sorry for the typo, let's say black for the timing. alright, if I refresh it, I think everything will be work successfully. Of course, the webpack compiled successfully, it says. Unfortunately, we get a problem, I think. Nah, we don't. So if I make it white, hopefully it will work. So as you see, we in the source file we need only one particular specific file, index.js. So the other file will be created by us. Simple as that. So as you see, we build a functional based component in the app.js. So app.js will render please subscribe. So the please subscribe will render to a newest page. So the first thing you have to do is just that you have to create h2 tag. So to build this page, this interesting UI, we have to make the background color like a blue. So to do that, you go to index.css, then we try to copy the background color from this file. So I think the background color is just not a blue, but instead it looks like a blue. So blue is interesting because it works. So if I save, the webpack automatically refresh our new page. So hopefully like I said, this is our 100. Yeah, so as you see, the page is being, the background is being the same with the first one. Okay, so let me go. So in the app.js we have to render other header file. So in the header we have to create some sort of header file, right? So let me create some JavaScript file which is called header.js. So in the header.js, let me make a function called header. So as you see in the function name, the first letter must be capital. Okay, if not capital, believe me, you'll get a problem. So div, let me create the view, and the class name will be header. Alright, then after, let me create h2 tag which render online lottery game. Okay, so over here we need to make another div tag which contain your header lists. Okay, order list. Then after, we have to make an order list and a list item, of course. So to do that, as you know from HTML, codes to make a list, an order list correctly. In the unordered list, inside an order list tag, we have to create list item. In the list item, you can say it's home, right? After, in the home, you can make it a profile. Profile is interesting, isn't it? But most application contain some sort of image. You can do it. You can make it an image by writing an image tag. So on the third one, we just write a notification. On the fourth one, we can make a message. A list item will be message. Okay. So believe me, at the end of this course, we will add a capability of messaging our application. Okay. So hopefully it will be interesting for you guys. So let me export it. Export. No way. What header, isn't it? Yeah. So after I export it, I have to import it in the app.js to render it correctly. Okay. So let me import what header, isn't it? Yep. So header, from, as you see, the first letter of header, the first header is the function name, it's not the file name. Okay. So import H is capital, as you have to remember this, because I get problem when I begin React. So import header from the current directory, dot slash is used to represent the current directory, then the file name, simple as that. Then after, you just write special tag, you make a special tag, then just header, the function name. And interestingly, it will render the page, it will render the code into the new page. As you see, a webpack compiled successfully. Here is our list. So the list is now interesting because we didn't add some interesting style sheet. So to add style sheet, we have to create, or on the index.js, we have to make some style code. We have to write some style code. Okay. Matter of fact, you can also make separate style file to distinguish one specific file from the other, but you can make your entire, you can write your entire style code into index.css, because HTML is already being rendered into the page. So the index.css is somehow knows each and every tag that exists in your application. So no matter what you write CSS file, it will be rendered. Alright. So okay, now header, it will be, the header will be let's say the h2 will be, no, the color will be white. Let me make it, the color will be white. If I refresh it, you will get this list type white, and of course the lottery game become white, the color become white. Okay. So okay, Alright, then as you see, the list item is displayed is not properly. So let me write a code or a CSS file that make it horizontally. Okay, to do that we have to write in CSS file, we have to write ul and float is a CSS property which make the list item into horizontally. Alright, so if I write this, I think the the list item will be displayed in horizontal way. So let me add a padding to them. Hopefully when you add padding they become interestingly separated each other. So I think in the header file we have to make another, no, we have also a class name called head, so we can use it to make our code interesting, style interesting. Yeah, it's just a proper way of doing it. So let me take it into the left by writing margin left. When I write margin left 200 pixel, hopefully it will take it, it will separate it. No, it separates the item separately, so I don't want it like that. I do only take it to the left, so I have to, on the header class name, I have to take it 200 pixel to the left by writing margin left. Okay, so let me check it out. Yes, it will go to 200 pixel. So if I increase the pixel by 400, hopefully it will take it. Interestingly, it will take it. So let me write list, I think style none. It will remove the bullets, of course, as you see it will delete the bullets. So interestingly now that is good, isn't it? So in the header we have h2 tag which is says online lottery game. Let's make the color yellow. If we make the color yellow, hopefully it will become yellow. So now okay, so now the border button must be again 2 pixel solid yellow. Alright, so we forget to make a colon, not semicolon. Hopefully it will be interesting, isn't it? But we don't need this thing, we only need this thing. Alright, border bottom 2 pixel solid yellow. Right, let me check it out again. Good. What about if we make a border bottom 2 pixel solid? That's not good, because over here we have margin top, we have to say this pixel So now our React application is work correctly, and we are successfully build our UI, our header file. Okay, as you see, our header file is exactly the same with this one, except it is there is no except, sorry for except word. It's exactly the same. When we hover it, we didn't get this kind of hovering effect. So on the CSS, let me go and write code that make this kind of effect. Okay, so in the index.css file, I will write head ul and li. I think there is no a over here. So when we hover it, I think the color, okay, the cursor will be pointer and the color will be yellow. The color become yellow. Okay, so the color yellow. So hopefully now it will be awesome. So let me check it. Nothing has happened because we didn't refresh it, I believe. So when I save the project, now as you see, our header file work correctly. So the other thing we have to build is just that we have to make this interesting registration page. So in this registration page, the user must be type 4 inputs, and of course it has to select its gender and its country. Okay, so we have a login and sign up buttons over here. So let us make this interesting registration page. So to build it, we can make it in two ways. The first one is by writing some div tag over here and separate it from the other div tag and customizing by writing this CSS file. Right, so the other one is just create a separate registration page, registration component function, then we will render it. So I think it is a better way to write it. So let me create a new file called register.js. Of course, in React, the awesomeness of React is just that you are not restricted to build only a functional component. Okay, you can also write a class-based component by just making an JSX extension. Okay, JSX extension. If you create JSX extension, then it will force you to write a class-based component. So in this case, let us make a class-based component. So the first thing you have to do is just to import React. Okay, from what? From React. So after that, of course, a class keyword. Then after class keyword, you need to write class name. Okay, so the class name will be register. So let us extend React dot component. Okay, so in this, as you know from JavaScript course, when you write class keyword, class programming, class programming, you are change your programming paradigm into object-oriented programming, isn't it? So in React, after you write a class name, a keyword, inside a classmate in class OP, you have to make one specific method which is called render. So React needs this method to work correctly. Okay, so inside this render method, you can make whatever JavaScript code you want. So on this particular case, we need to return some view or some UI. So let me make a div called register, a div class name called register. So in this register, let me make another maybe div, then the class name will be reg. Okay, then inside this inside this div, let me make a for div a for input button input tags. So as you know, input tag is a special tag and it has a property called type. So for the first input tag, the type will be text, and the placeholder will be, as you know, the placeholder is a property which hold your whatever value you write. Okay, so we only need 4 particular inputs. So let me copy and paste those tags. Input type, what, text, isn't it? Yeah, no, text, email is okay. Placeholder email, right? And the other will be, I think it will be a password. Placeholder password. Okay, and the other one will be, the final one will be confirm password. Type, of course, it is password. Placeholder will be confirm password. Then the other one we're gonna need, it's just that a selection statement, tag is used to select particular thing from a given tag. So in the select tag we need also option tag, which tells the browser to select specific item, I think, option. Then let me say gender. So after gender, male and female will be selected. Okay, brothers, man and woman, brothers and sisters, please subscribe. And a woman, I don't know, it's not a correct way of writing it. Man, female, man. Okay, hopefully it will render it, but we didn't export it in the first place. Of course, to export it, we have to export default. We have to write export default. What is the class name? The class name is register. So register, right? So after you export it, so in what parent JavaScript code you want to render it? So I want to render it in the app.js file. Alright, so in the app.js file I need to import it in the first place to render it. So import register from the current directory, register. Yeah, so to render it is just like the other function, it's just like the same. And as you see, we are render input tag into the mm, up way, so we didn't add some styling to it. So if we add some styling component to this interesting UI, hopefully it will be interesting. So to add interesting style, let me create style folder in the first place, because we will get lots of style element maybe. So style, okay, so the entire style file will be stored in this directory. Okay, so let me call it register.css. all right, so in the register.css file, let me add class name register. Then what the position will be, let me make it position will be fixed, because fixed cannot move from one the other. So register page must be fixed. So the first, when the user visits our web app, so it must see a registration page in the first place. So after then we have to give it a width, which is, I think 500 is enough. 500 pixel is enough. And the height also 500 pixel is good. Then margin left, maybe margin top will be maybe 100 pixel is good. Let me check, but we didn't, as you see, we didn't export it. So I mean, I didn't combine this CSS file into registration page. So to combine it, I have to import it. So to import HTML CSS file, you need only specific the folder name and the particular file you want to combine it. Okay, so in this case we need to specific register CSS file. Okay, CSS files are like JavaScript, so that's why we didn't import some sort of function. Okay, we only imported a particular file. So React is systematically be able to combine those things. Okay, so hopefully now it is good. So let me make it the background color white, isn't it? Yeah, background color white. Yeah, and I think the height is not good. The height is must be, the margin top also must be good, huge, and 1000 is, I think, enough. It will happen. Oh, it's not a bad. Okay, 200 I think is enough. Hopefully it is good. Yeah, but as you see, width is too much big. Sorry guys, so we have to come back again when we, so as you see, we are coming approach. Okay, so yeah, we are good to go now. So let me increase the margin left, of course, okay guys, I realized that I get some sound problem, so that's why I just retry to record it again. Okay, so in the register.jsx file, I wrote this HTML, I wrote this code that renders this page. Okay, of course, as you see, the button is not perfectly styled. So after I styled the buttons, I'll try to connect the front end the back end one. So after this tutorial, hopefully I'll jump into the back end, then wherever the user input in this thing will automatically send to the back end one. Okay, so we'll be able to write a code. We will write a Node.js code that accepts this information and save it in some sort of file system. So hopefully it will be beneficial for you guys. So let's build what we expect, what we left. All right, so everything is correct, everything worked correctly. So we're gonna just add some image. To do that, we have to copy the image. Okay, so to do that, you go to this folder. So we just go to the style. We have I think it's not a style. We have, I think there is an image. Yeah, the image name is an input, isn't it? Okay, maybe over here. Yeah, we have an image. So let me copy this image into in this style. Okay, so in this style folder, let me create specific directory called image. So in that image, I'll try to copy, merge that file. Okay, yeah, now it will be good. So in the registration page, let me go in the app.js page. Let me go and render that particular image. All right, as you know, to render image, we need to specify special tag, image tag. So to render image into your page, you have to import your image like a JavaScript code. Okay, so to do that, you simply write import, then the particular image name. In this case, employee is our image name. I think employee, what? Employee, yeah. Then from specific the path of that particular image. Okay, so I think it's an image. Then what? Employee dot jpg, isn't it? Not a jpg, png. After we do that, in the source file we have to specify the name of the file. Okay, the name of the image. So after we save it, we get this kind of problem which says cannot resolve because why employee. Why this thing is not happened? Because in the image we don't have. Okay, we didn't move it. Where about now? We didn't move it. Okay, let me move it. Paste. What about now? boom, as you see, it will work correctly. Of course you get a problem which says image element must have alert alt props. So after you write alt props and empty string, hopefully it will work correctly without any problems. So let me save it. Let me check whether we are doing it correctly or not. As you see, the image is being rendered into the page. So in the CSS index.css file, let me assign a class name called maybe, let me say it awesome, right? The index.css, where is index.css? You can say index, you can write your style sheet in the index.css, or maybe in the register.css, or maybe you can make your separate css file, then you can just style that particular component. Okay, so let me write awesome mg, right? So margin top, let me write margin top, maybe 100 pixel is enough, believe me. Margin top, and the margin left will be maybe 100 pixel. Okay, let me check it out. If I check it out, if I refresh, I think it will work correctly, but somehow my being freezed now. Let me record. Okay, wait, it is being compiled, so hopefully now we will see the new rendering, which is interesting, isn't it? So on the left side, or on the margin left, we didn't, it's not enough to make 100. So if we make it, I think 4400, it will be good view. Yeah, better, but not exactly the same with this one, isn't it? Because as you see over on the top, we got other thing. So let me minimize, let me add a margin top, of course 200. Let me make it, if I make it 200, it will be good. So on the next one, or on the other side, or in the next tutorial, I believe I will try to build some interesting backend application, okay, that accept whatever information that's sent from the user. Okay, so wherever the user send this information, and if this thing